All right, people. This is one of the most exciting evening because I have my BBFF joining me. And we've been talking like probably, how long have we been sitting here chopping it up? About an hour?
An hour and 15 minutes.
So we've been sitting here just chit-chatting for like an hour and 15 minutes. And then I'm like, hey, we need to get started with our podcast, okay? So anyway, I want to introduce to you guys my business bestie. We met, and it's crazy because we met through the Nurse REI Club last year, and she was just attending the meetings, and she'll comment on the post and put her 2 cents in. And one day I know what happened. So homegirl is like doing a damn thing, but we're gonna let her tell y'all what she's doing. But she was offering a government contract class, and I wanted to get into the government contracting sector. So I took her course, and I think I was probably the fastest one to complete her course. So yeah, so we were she paid for VIP to a seminar in Columbia, South Carolina. And so she had made a post in her group, and she says, who wants to join me for this VIP? And I typed, I do. And she was like, you're in. I was like, I won. So anyway, we never met in person, like most Facebook friends. They don't meet in person. But when they finally do, it's like you've known them forever. So my husband and I drove up from Florida to Columbia, and I picked her up. Before we even met, she was like, hey, come pick me up. We're going to go to this, I think it was like a meet and greet at a chicken and waffle spot or something like that. So I picked her up at a hotel, and that was the first time we met face to face, and it was like we've known each other forever. And I don't know, we've clicked, and we've been, doing all kinds of stuff together. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So I want to introduce you to my BBFF, Tamara Neely.
Hey, everyone. And Tasha, we weren't just talking earlier. We was doing a mastermind session.
That's true.
We was doing some stuff. So we was working. We weren't chit-chatting. We was working.
You're right.
Doing some business.
Yeah, and it's crazy because every time we talk, like for real, when we get together and we talk, it's really about business.
Yes.
Even, like if I'm at your house, like remember we came up to the house?
Yes.
It ended up being about number business. I was working, you were working, Benny was on his laptop, and your husband was upstairs working. Everybody was working.
Yeah, but we still had some good times in there. So we had work and pleasure, that balance. I tell everybody it's about that balance, working, having a good time. My motto is work hard, play harder.
Oh my God. So I gotta just tell everybody some of the things that we have in common, because we got a lot of stuff in common, like for real. So one of the things that, first, we both are nurses.
Yep.
We're both entrepreneurs. We both love to ride motorcycles. Obviously, we're both married. What was it? It was something else. I can't think of it. What was it?
Well, we do occasionally like to, smoke a cigar.
Yes, we like our cigars. So
yeah, we just like, we love to work. We're about executing a plan. You tell us one thing, it's going to be completed. If you give us a deadline, it's going to be done. Then after that, we're on to the next thing, or we want to celebrate. So I think, that's
Absolutely.
definitely, when when you took my class and I was like, wow, Tasha did this in like a week. Most people taking, 12,
Yep.
it's a 12-week program, Tasha. Come on now. It's 12 weeks.
How you
You
go? How you
do it
go?
in a week. Like you do it in a week. So I was like, okay, yeah. So I love to work with people who, if I tell you to do something and you execute it and do it, I'm like, yes. I can see you doing whatever you want to do. So I was like, yes. Tasha completed the task in a week while people were just still on section 1. She was completed. It was done. So yes. So we just clicked, it was like that instant connection, different worlds, but we had so much in common, and it was like, it was divine. I think it was meant to be, that the Lord wanted us to meet together, because like I said, I just said, hey, I got VIP and I signed up early. So they was like, you can get 2 VIPs if you sign up today. I'm like, well, my husband's not going to go with me. He doesn't want to go to any of this. So let me put it out here in the group, and whoever said that they'll go, I mean, it's free. They can just come in and learn for their own business. And so, I mean, it wasn't even posted up there for a minute. And Tasha was like, me. So yeah, that was the beginning of, our friendship. It was solidified when we were able to see each other face to face. Our husbands have a lot of things in common. So it was just like, it just clicked. So yeah, I'm excited. So I'm ready to come down there to Florida soon. Since you've been to see me, I have to come down there.
Yes. Oh, the other thing, we're both from the Carolinas.
Yes.
I forgot that.
The
Born and
Carolinas.
raised Carolina girls. Yeah, that's
Yes.
it.
Country. We're country girls.
Yes, definitely that. Oh, and we both planted our gardens this year. But your garden, I must say, your garden did way better than my garden.
Yeah, but it's over with now. But yeah, we that was it was very a learning experience that I have never had a garden other than when I was small, with my grandparents having it. And so it really taught us a lot, and my husband enjoyed it. And I really loved the food because it was so fresh and organic. It also taking pride in something that you saw grow in your own yard, your backyard. Yep. I never knew that you can get collard greens. You just kind of clip them off and then they grow right back. Man, we got four servings of collards off of those.
Yeah.
So we really enjoyed it. Yeah. So we have a lot of stuff in common. We're always willing to learn new things and say, hey, T, or hey, T Mac, look, we need to do this. So I really enjoy our friendship. I was like, I've never had a business bestie until like last year,
Yeah.
So it's really fun. You need to get your BBFF, but you can't have T Mac. She's mine. She's mine, y'all.
So listen, tell people who don't know you a little bit about yourself.
Oh, wow. So I'm what I call a lifetime learner. I love learning. Mm-hmm. I was just looking at some pictures on Facebook yesterday. Even in high school, I was really about, education. I knew the success to getting anything is really through education. Yep. Or unless you were born with money. But if not, if you study and learn something, get that trade or go get that education. So I was, very fortunate that I got a scholarship to go to undergrad, did biology. Okay. And from there, I went to graduate school at A&T, and I really didn't want to do biology master's. So I came back to Charlotte, and I did med tech. So I worked in the lab for 5 years. And then I was like, well, let me just do nursing. So I did nursing. Mm-hmm. And got my associate's degree, got my bachelor's degree, and then I opened up my own business in 2006. And it
Oh,
was just, just I saw someone else, and I went and worked with this lady for one day doing her assessments for a non-medical home care agency.
okay.
And she told me how much money she was making. And I was like, what? Like, you need a nurse, because that nurse is getting part of your money. But if I do it, I don't have to pay another nurse. So immediately I was like, let me research this, because I'm getting ready to get me a side business, a side hustle, right?
Yep.
And that's what I did. I got that opened up in 5 months. And then I opened up my business 2006 doing the non-medical home care. And then I was like, if this is successful, it's like you have your MBA. If you can run a successful business, make whatever amount of money you deem to be successful, which I end up doing, I'm like, I've earned my MBA. And so then President Obama came around and said, hey, we're going to need more mid-levels because of the Affordable Care Act.
Yep.
So immediately I was like, I'm going to go do this for my own business, not to go work for somebody else. I never went to, get my master's to work for anyone else. It was always for my business. So I went and got my master's as a family nurse practitioner, did that. Then I went to Duke and did an HIV postmaster's and did another postmaster's to get my psych NP. And so it was just basically, things that I could add on to my business. So I just went back. So with that, we started doing HIV case management. We do grants with the government. We do contracts with the government. So I call myself the NursePRAYneur. I'm the queen of contracts. And definitely we've done, a lot of grants as well with HIV. We have 2 contracts that we do with in the Charlotte area with the VA. And then we just recently won a contract that will start on October the 1st. We'll be doing that with as a grant. So we'll start that. We'll be housing a total of 20 men between 2 facilities. So that was always my goal. I wanted to have an assisted living with at least 20 beds. But God gave me two facilities with the same amount of people that I own both properties, and both properties are paid for. Like, really, really blessed. And so being able to have my, those 2 contracts was like a major deal. So it just changed my business.
Let's talk about it. So we can break this up a million different ways. Okay.
Yes.
But okay, so number 1, you have 2 properties that are paid for. So let's talk about it on the real estate side right now.
Okay.
Let's talk about the acquisitions of those properties and how you got those properties paid for.
Okay, so the very first property I got was after I opened my business up in 2006. 6 months later, because I opened up my office, it was at my home. Okay. And so I used my dining room as, where I did all the training for the CNAs. They would come to my house. And then, after about 2 months, I was like, I don't want them knowing where I stay. I don't want them coming to my house. So I got to find a location. And so the very first property we got was close to downtown Charlotte in the Nodi area. And I bought that property 6 months after opening up. And I put it in my business, in the company name.
Yep.
So that was the very first property that we got. And because it was a commercial, it was only for 15-year loan anyway.
Yeah.
So we got that. That was the very first property. Then the second property we got, also before that, I went back because we did all the work that the property that I was staying in, like as far as doing everything. And when I saw that commission that my husband's friend got, his commission check, I was like, I did all the work, but he gets all the money. I'm going to get my license. So I went and got my real estate license. Yeah, I was like, no, I did all the work, and you gonna give me a bottle of wine and a $50 lamp? I was like, no, you got about $4,000 or $5,000, and I did all the work. So I went back and got it. So the second property we got, I bought that with a credit card. I had a line of credit for $50,000, and I bought a house, a 5-bedroom, 2-bath house in 2008 for like $42,000 with the credit card.
So when we tell people that they can buy properties, if they have good credit, or if they get their credit good and then have good build their business credit, even before the business credit part, you still can buy properties. There's million ways to purchase properties. You can get a property on a credit card.
Yeah, well, and you get that deed mailed to your house too.
Exactly. It's cash. So I know some people might be wondering, how can you purchase a property using a credit card? What does that look like? What process is that?
I just basically went to the bank and said, hey, I need a check. They usually mail you a check, or you go into it. And basically I told them that I want a check, and I told them, I called the attorney, asked him how much it was, who I need to write it to the attorney's office, right? Yeah. And they told me, this is your closing costs and everything, so bring $46,000 or whatever. And that check was written. They gave me a blank check, and I wrote it and took it there to closing, and I wrote it. And so it basically came off my line of credit. Yep. That was, well, really, it wasn't a line of credit. That was a credit card. That one was. So they mailed me, the credit card company mail, you know how they bring it, they want you to spend the money. Yep. So they was like, here you go. You got a line of credit of $50,000. So I took it to closing and wrote that check. And then a week or two later, I got the deed. So even if I defaulted on that $50,000, guess what? They can't they can't put a lien on that house. Nope. Yep. Yeah. So that was the second property that we bought. Well, really the third property, because we had bought our first property. So that was the third property that we bought. And then the fourth property was our next personal home that we bought. And then we bought, where did I go then? I went and bought another group home. Actually, my first group home, we had bought that property. It was a foreclosure. Bought that property and got that one for under $80,000. Yep. It was 2,300 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. And that's where I first started doing my veterans out of that property. We had to wait probably about a year before that, from them trying to start the program in Charlotte, for the money to come from federal to come all the way down to the area. It took over a year because it was a very new program that was coming for the contracts. And so after it started, I recouped all my money. Yep. In about 3 months. Yep. From sitting on it for probably over a year. Yep. So I recouped all my money from that. And then I actually rented out another property from someone else. So I had 2 contracts. So one I owned, and the other one I was renting from someone. And then I started looking for another property. I believe that, if you're making money, that you need to be able to have some properties at the end of doing any type of contract or housing program. You should be able to own the property. If you don't own it, that's okay starting out. But after a while, you want to be able to own that, because guess what? They're going to go up on your rent next year. If you don't have like a 3-year whatever, they're going to go up on that rent. And they know you're going to pay because you got a business. So we, I rented out one place, and it sat empty for 3 years. They wouldn't sell it to me, and I probably paid them over $75,000. And they wouldn't sell it to me because they was like, why would they sell it to me when they're making all the money and I'm not even using it? And we finally started using that property. And then after that, I was like, I got to find another property. And then we found another property, which is probably like 3 3 minutes from our other VA property. And
Mm-hmm.
that property was an estate sale. And so I've never done an estate sale. It just had a red, the red and white sign that say for sale by owner.
Yeah.
And it had the attorney's information, said call attorney and the number. And I'm like, well, why you gotta call an attorney? And when I called them, they walked me through the steps and said, hey, we're getting ready to you got to do an upset bid. And I was like, well, what is that? And they told me what I need to do, go to the courthouse, and they gave me the number and everything. And I went there. And of course, you know what I did. You know what nurses do. We're good at talking to people, like, hey, how do you do this? So I found, it was a guy, he was there by himself. I said, let me find somebody who looks like they're approachable. And he basically walked me through everything. He said, you need to fill out this form here. And I was like, and then he was like, well, you filled it out so quick. I said, we're nurses. That's what we do. We fill out paperwork all the time. Very quick.
And that was before electronic.
Like, wow.
Starting, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what they do for that one. You have to do it by paper and turn it in. And so he walked me through everything in about 30 minutes. And then I had $10 cash on me. So I said, here's lunch on me. And he was like, gave me his information. It's like, if you ever have questions, just give me a call. So with that property, I upset somebody else's bid and nobody else upset my bid. And I ended up winning that property for under $100,000, which was hard to find because 2 years ago, properties that were usually $100,000 were now $240,000.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so I was able to get that one. So that one was an estate sale. So really just working with doing those government contracts allowed me to financially set me up so that I could use that to pay off my properties.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, or I have so many questions I want to ask, but we'll be here forever. We just would. So, but one of the things that you talked about was grants and then contracts. So for people who don't understand the difference between a government grant, and a government contract, can you quickly explain the difference?
Yeah, so usually with the grants, you're providing some type of service. So for us, we do a grant with HRSA, which is sponsored through the county. So we provide HIV case management. So that's the service that we provide. And so they give us a set fee, we do the service, we get paid. Now with the contract, I do a contract with the VA, do 2 contracts with the VA, and I do also a grant that I'll be starting with the VA. So with the contracts, basically you get to negotiate. Like, the grants, they're going to tell me this is what you're going to get paid for this, or this is how much money you're going to give to this. But with the contract, we're negotiating. Just like if we did a contract for service for me to come in and be a nurse for your facility, we're going to negotiate a price. And so what I may negotiate, because of my past performance, my experience or whatever, may be different from you. If you were doing the same thing I was doing and you didn't know how to, negotiate, they may get a cheaper rate from you. So that contract is basically a negotiated price point for some type of service or good that you're going to do. And for me, it's providing services for the veterans. And they give me X amount per day for each veteran that they're there. So they don't guarantee, that I'm going to be full 100% of the time, but they're always, looking for clients for me. I don't have to go do any advertisement. They bring all the clients to me.
Y'all heard that? They bring all the clients to her. She doesn't have to look for advertisement.
Yes, no advertisement.
And that's big. That's huge. And the reason why I brought that up was because I was talking to one of our other friends, Rashan, today, and she was telling me that she said that nurses were coming to her asking her help, can you help me get clients? Like they'll go through the whole thing and they'll get the business set up, they'll get a website, they'll get everything, but then they don't know how to market for clients. Mm-hmm. And then guess what happens after that? They give up.
If you ain't making no money, either you're going to give up.
Yeah. So, but with you working with the VA and the government, they provide the clients, and you can spend your time doing other things, right?
Yes, other things. Yes, other things. It gives me time. It gives me the freedom. That's right. What it has given me, the freedom to do whatever I want to do. It allows me to go back to school. It allows me to go, travel, spend time with my family and friends. It affords you to do that, when you have them giving you the clients and you don't have to go out and do the marketing. So it would be excellent for somebody who doesn't like doing any type of marketing, where the government's going to do all the work for you.
Absolutely. And I read, I'm big on Robert Kiyosaki. Like, I love all of his books. And he had written he basically writes the same thing in every book, like all other authors, but, with a different twist to it. So he had one of the biggest things that he talks about is being in a partnership with the government. And he says, if you have a corporation, you need to figure out how you can become partners with the government. It doesn't have to be the whole corporation that you have, the whole company, but there should be a portion of your company that is in partnership with the government, i.e. contracts, i.e. grants, because you're providing a service that they need, and in turn, they're going to send you the work, the clients, the whatever, So yeah, that's huge. And we can go into the different business models and structures, but we'll do that another time. But it's I think that's a very, 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 very smart and lucrative business.
Oh yes, definitely. Yes.
So so you told us about yourself. You told us basically how you got started. I'm sorry, my it's storming here in Florida, so whenever it storms, the internet kind of acts up. So I'm gonna go out and come back in. I'm gonna stop the video and start it back. My video, that is. See that?
Okay.
Sometimes it does that. But anyway, so we'll keep going. You told us about yourself. You told us how you got started. So what is the one thing that you wish you would have known before you began, as far as your, I don't know, you could take it either way. You can talk about your real estate, or you can talk about nursing, either one, or business in general.
Yeah, business. Actually, it kind of uses all of them. I would say it was what my book is going to be coming out next month, talking about is legacy planning.
Okay.
I wish I would have started that from the very beginning. I should have started planning that from day one. I kind of, started doing IRAs and stuff with my business, invested in my business just 5 years ago. I've been in business for 14 and a half years, and I just started doing it with my business. My husband was doing it, but I was making the money and saving it, but I wasn't investing in it like I should until 5 years ago. And what I've amassed in those 5 years, I'm like, it would have been tripled.
Oh, yeah. But at least you say you're doing it now.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for 5 years, so.
Yeah, so if I could, tell anybody, when you start your business, we're used to getting that from our, from the hospitals, the legacy planning and all of that. But you have to start it with your own business from the very beginning. So that's one thing that I would tell people to do and start working on.
I want y'all to know, because I want all the listenership to know that is her dog Snowball and not my dog Draco. Because Draco is the one barking on the podcast or the interviews, and I'm like, guys, I'm working from home. It's my dog. Somebody's at the door. So when Snowball started barking, I was like, yes. It's not
Yeah,
great
look,
though.
and she's always so good, so I'm gonna hold her. She wants somebody to hold her. This
Hey,
is who
Snow.
was barking, Snowball. Say, hey.
Snowball. That's another thing we have
Yeah.
in common. We love our dogs.
Yes.
So yeah, I totally agree with you. And what is the name of your book that's coming out?
So my first book that I had it's called the NursePRAYneur, From Care Plans to Business Plan.
Okay.
And that's my second book is coming out. Next book is called the NursePRAYneur. It's picking up from there. So it's from care plans to legacy planning.
Okay.
So you want to leave a legacy once you start your business.
Absolutely. And when does this book come out?
Next month.
Do you have pre-orders?
Yes, I do. I have them in the B&E group, if people are familiar with that, and then also on the NursePRAYneur.
Okay. So I'll post the links, and I'll attach the links so how people can pre-order your book or order your first book.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So all right. So that's the one thing, and you wrote a book about it. So obviously, if you can write a book about something, you know about it. So you know about legacy planning. So that's the one thing that Tamara says she wished she would have known when she got started. So tell me, what is the or tell us what resources do you use to help you along the way?
Really, I do a lot of research. So for me, it's networking with other like-minded people. I've been blessed, I would say, because I've really never had a mentor myself. I've never I've been a mentor, but I've never had a mentor for myself. I've taken classes from people. I really believe in that, personal development, investing in yourself, in your business,
Absolutely.
so that you can get to the next level. And so I would say that's the biggest thing, is just that personal development, going out there researching it. And if it's something that you don't have or you don't know about it, that the person that can do it and get you there quicker, right? Like something that took me like 10 years to accomplish, you can do it in like a couple months, and no, you don't have those problems or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's so, like a no-brainer.
I would say that, yeah.
All right, so
and
last
then just
question.
Really trying to be doing digital.
Digital, yes. Oh yeah. Yes.
I'm trying to get better with that. I'm trying to get better
with the digital, going digital. Well, you hired somebody to help you with your.
Yeah, I do. I try to learn some stuff, but yeah, if it's something, I'm really big on delegation. If it's something that I know that I can't do, then you delegate. So that's one thing that you have, as a good leader, you have to be able to delegate, and trust someone that they can be competent to do the job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And it's hard at first to let go. Well, for me, because I'm such a perfectionist and I want things done the way I want things done. And that's one of the things that I wish I would have done earlier, I believe, is I wish I would have learned how to delegate a lot earlier, as far as business, in my business. So yeah, that's one thing that, because how when you give somebody a task to do that they're good at, it frees up your time and your mind, your mental space to 10x whatever you're good at. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh yeah.
And you're not bogged down. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm really, really good on big on delegation. And what I would tell people to do, if you're that perfectionist and you you do them, you know, you write down the steps that you want them to do it, even down to what they say, how they answer the phone, and what they do, you know, when they're at the group home, this is what they do. So you just, you know, you write a policy for it. You know, we're nurses.
That's what it is, basically.
So,
it's a policy.
yeah, you write them a policy. Yeah.
And say, this is what I want to do. All right, I want to get into really the last part of our interview. I want to get into the group home part, because obviously, you know, everybody's seeing that, number one, landlords are really tired. They're tired because they're we know, you know, the elephant in the room is COVID. So they don't have people, you know, they don't have to pay rent right now, right? In certain states or whatever, you know, they're not paying their rent, and the landlords are, and then they're still calling the landlord saying this broke and that broke, but the landlord isn't getting rent. So how are you going to fix the properties? And this is becoming a big thing. And, you know, a portion of what I do as an investor is I wholesale properties as well. So the properties are like coming left and right now, because the landlords, they're tired. You know, this thing has wiped them out, and they, you know, they didn't have a cushion, or they weren't legacy planning, you know, they were living month to month or whatever. And it's really, it's been tough for a lot of landlords. And so, even before COVID, you know, I took advantage of, I hate to say advantage, but I guess that's what it is, of tired landlords. You know, they were ready to sell, and, you know, I was able to get properties at like 50 to 60 cents on a dollar. So some of those properties I kept, and some of those properties I wholesale. But the biggest thing, and the mindset shift and the pivot that happened for me was, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and I tell everybody all the time, I said, it was my BBFF. She was like, you're getting all these properties, you need to start turning some of these into group homes, you know. And I was like, and the light bulb went off, like ding, ding, ding. And it just happened to be, and this is the way God works, I believe, when you said that, one of my tenants just never ever paid on time. So she was like, really, it was like getting to the point where I'm not going to do this. This property could be making me a lot more money. And then when everybody else's lease is up on my other properties, guess what I'm going to do? I'm not renewing the leases. I'm turning all of them into.
Yeah, look, they should know, like, I had a property that I was doing. I said, I need a lease. And they was like, no, we're not giving you a lease. I'm like, oh, they're going to get rid of me, you know, with my group home. So, yeah, so finding someone, and, you know, like you said, you can make way more money. Yeah.
Way more money. And then on top of that, and, you know, even, okay, so that part was just the group home part, and being able to not only, let's say my mortgage is $400, and then the one tenant pays $850. Well, by the time you pay taxes and insurance and stuff, you're really technically only cash flowing like $200 a month. Like for real. You know, of course you're getting tax breaks and things like that, depreciation and things for owning a property. But at the end of the day, we're going to really, you know, talk apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Your cash flow isn't that much when you have one tenant. It's just not. So and then the thing that made more sense to me was, oh, well, I can have like 7 of these tenants in one house, or 8 of them in one house. And so, so I did. I did what you said, you know. Success leaves clues. And not only that, you know, I was just fortunate enough that we're friends, and you were like, no, this is what you need to do. You need to have a group home. And so, and then that's one part of it. So let's say $850 times 7 people, or 7 beds under one property, versus $850 a month for one property. Then if you know, want to talk about the grants, talk about government contracts and things like that, that's that ain't even 10x in your money. That's like 1,000x in your money.
Oh
Right?
yeah, look. And then even like you said, but you're doing your business that way, you can get even more money because now you have one company
Yep.
renting it out to another company versus just renting it out to a tenant, one tenant.
Exactly. And so, and I set it up that way. And so now that's Draco. And so
Yeah,
I have one of my companies that purchased the property is renting it out to the other company that owns the group home business.
Yeah.
And so that's major. I don't know if you guys picked that up, but she said it and I said it. So pay attention. That's major. So that is another thing. And then being able to have, and you said it, I believe earlier, a non-medical home care, right?
Oh yeah.
So that can be another company that you own that you can outsource the services for the people who need care, all under one roof.
Yeah. So actually, to be honest with you, when I first started, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was doing my past performance because I started my own group home. So what I did is that property that I paid $42,000 for, it was 5 bedrooms. I put 6 clients in there.
Yep.
And the clients that I put in there had either need HIV case management or they need to have non-medical home care or both services. They have to have one of those services. I was getting paid for services and I paid rent for each one. So yeah, I was getting paid. Yeah. One company was paying the other company, and I was getting paid by the government.
It's awesome.
So that was my very first program that I did before I started working with the VA.
Yeah. So I would say it's like an infinite return on your investment. You know, in the real estate world, we talk about an ROI. When you have a group home, that is infinite return on your investment. You know, and then we could go on and on about this thing. So I think we're almost at an hour, so we're gonna have to wrap it up. We start losing people after that hour. But so T.
Yes.
What's next?
I think we need to do a conference, take this on the road and show people how to open up their group home. You know, I get a lot of emails or people in my DM wanting to know how do I do this or what do I do? And I think we need to do it where we can teach a group of people. Let's get people together in a city coming near you and showing people how to open up their own group home and do it quick. All about execution, right?
Yeah.
Like 90 days. There's no reason why you can't open up a group home in 90 days doing it your way. So we'll go over the steps.
I was going to say, not only that, but you don't have to purchase your first property. You can lease your first property, or you can, I own properties all over the United States, but I have a group home that I lease a property because there wasn't, I didn't have time and it wasn't one available. So I just said, okay, I'll lease this property. It's the way it happened. So I did like a 2-year lease. So after that, he'll sell it to me or I'll buy another one. And move my business over to the next property. So anyway, so don't let that be a reason why you don't, or what do we call it? The reason why you're stuck. Don't let that be a reason. I don't have a property or I'm not in a position to buy one. It's not about that. It's about the business part of it first and foremost. I'm with it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So
I'll come to your area. I'll come to Florida.
So we'll do it. So we'll do a let's give them a group home blueprint.
Yes, 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 yes.
2.0.
Group home 2.0. 2.0.
Yeah.
Two people, two different ways that we did it. And we can teach you both ways how we're doing it, but really to teach you how to do it
Build the
within
business
90 days. Build a
and get
business.
going in 90 days. What did I say? The group home blueprint 2.0. We do real estate
Yeah.
different. We do real
Yeah.
estate different.
Yes. We
All
do real
right.
estate different. Yes.
All right, so y'all be on the lookout. So Tamara, y'all heard it here first. Tamara says she's coming to Florida. So she'll be
Yeah.
in Florida. We're gonna have fun. This is gonna be fun.
Yes. Let's meet in Jacksonville. Because we're gonna drive,
Jacksonville.
Let's do Jacksonville.
Okay, that's not
Next
far from me.
month. Yeah, we're gonna do next month. Let's do it.
Let's shoot for it. That's how we do. You know how we do.
Yeah, we're gonna get something together and we'll post it, the next couple of days, and
Yeah.
we're gonna let's get something started to teach people, because once you get your group home and you do it one time, you replicate it. Once you learn how to do it and that mindset and
Yes.
you know how to do it, and we're going to teach you what the steps, because I see a lot of people, they get something and they don't know what to do once they get it. You get that license, like Lady Fire Jones was saying, you got this license, but now you don't know what to do with it. So you can't make any money with it. So when I come with the solution, I always want to, if I'm going to teach you how to do it, I want to teach you everything about it. Like if getting a client is going to be your problem, then we need to discuss, like, this is what you need to do to get a client. This is a checklist of what you need to put in your house. These are the things that you need to do to market your house.
Let's talk about that business plan.
Yes, because a lot of people they've never done a business plan. And so you definitely want to make sure you have that.
Not only that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can talk about marketing, business plan, policies and procedures.
Oh, biggies.
We have
a lot of people. Yeah. A lot of people don't know how to write, even as nurses, which is fine, don't know how to write policies and procedures. But remember delegation, and we're going to have them for you. So anything that you can think of, we'll have the answer, and we're going to cover it in the course. Like, because you've done it and I've done it.
Seminar. We're going to do a live seminar. We're going to do a live seminar, social distancing, and tell them, you didn't tell them about your lab. The COVID. Yeah.
Yes, I did a class on that, how to open up a COVID lab. Well, really how to open up a CLIA lab.
Yeah.
And so that one was the waiver.
Yep.
But also what I did is I upgraded my lab. I went from a CLIA waiver to a non-waive, where I can do the actual COVID test. So yeah, but I don't know if I can bring them there, because I will be out of state. So I can't do testing there. But we have some people in Florida we just have a lady that just took my classes in Florida, that has her CLIA waiver.
Oh, so she already has her waiver.
Yeah. Well, she just got it about a week ago.
My waiver might be here by then.
Yeah, so if you got it, it's on. We can test you too, boo. Look. We're going to test you and have you distance 6 feet, wear your mask. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's time. It's time to, we need to get out. Put your mask on, wash your hands, have your hand sanitizer, social distance. Let's get out here and get this money and make a difference in our communities. We can do it.
Oh, yes. We can, yeah. I really, I think we've seen, and we've kind of been on the sidelines watching and doing stuff from home. And I think now it's time, you know, I see people going out doing conferences. And like you said, you just do your, you know, do your distance from each other. You know, like you said, wash your hands. We're wearing a face mask, so we can get together. You know, it's good to be together, to have those interactions with other people and to see it. There's something different about being there in person, seeing someone, and versus, you know, we'll have it for people who can't come, that's maybe, you know, on the West Coast or whatever. We'll have it virtual as well for the people that still don't want to come out. But I do know some people are ready to come out and go to conference. They're ready to invest in their personal development.
Absolutely. Listen, people going out, you should have seen Labor Day weekend, people going out for just asinine things. Just, you are going out parties and pool parties and no mask. And this, when it's time for personal development, oh, I don't want to catch COVID.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not going to.
Yeah.
So thank you. One more thing, one more question, and then we're going to wrap it up. What advice would you give someone who was thinking about going down the same career path as you? What advice would you give them?
To, you know, with COVID and you had all this time to really think and to, you know, get your, you know, decide if you want to do a business. I would, you know, I would work with someone that was already successful doing what I want to do, because it speeds up your process to success. So instead of you doing something that takes, you know, 2 or 3 years, you'll have the blueprint, which we're going to be going over, the blueprint where you can get it in a couple months and you can have everything already executed and you can do it. So it just basically, you're getting to success a lot quicker than what I had. So if I had to do it all over again, I would have found a mentor. You know, I wouldn't have, you know, I would have found the mentor to get me there quicker, because I could have been even further along than what I am now. I could have got it a lot quicker, you know.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have had to wait, you know, 5 or 6 years to get it. I could have got it in less than a year.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. You have to have a mentor, and you have to have, number one, for accountability. You know, everybody's not as self-driven as you or me. You know, you have to, some people have to have that accountability just to keep them going, you know. And then that shows how much you invest in yourself. You know, whatever you put in, that's what you're going to get out. And a lot of people don't want a mentor because they're like, I don't want to pay nobody else. And da, 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 da. Well, if you can't invest in yourself with self-development, with a mentor, attending seminars, buying books, listening to podcasts, you know, doing all those things, if you can't do that, then what are you going to do in your business? How do you think your business is going to do well? You know, so I agree with you. I agree totally. Yeah. I would say the same thing. Get a mentor, you know, so you can get there much faster and not waste a lot of time. And the mentor has the blueprint anyway. That word again, blueprint.
Yeah. Yep, the blueprint. And then, you know, another thing is just working on your business, you know, 15 minutes a day. Even if whatever you're doing, just make sure that you work on your business every day. And Tasha, I want you to tell them, remember that question? And I saw Danielle do a post on it today. When we did a conference together, I don't know if people remember, but we did a conference, the Secure the Bag conference.
Yep.
And you was talking about the mindset.
Yep.
And you came up with this, you know, I sometimes I'll post that quote, or I'll, you know, it's just tell them that quote that you came up. T-Mac came up with this quote, y'all. What was that question? You asked them a question.
What did I say? Okay, I think I said if failure was not an option and money was not an issue, what would you be doing today? Or what would
Yeah.
you be doing 6 months from now or a year from now? If money was not an option and failure, no, if failure was not an option and money was not an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's really deep.
Yeah, really deep. And you remember Lakeisha had put something out there. Remember?
Yes. Yes, I remember.
And it was around properties and stuff. Yeah.
So actually it was
And it came,
I gave that quote before our last seminar we did together. It was in one of our meetings, the Nurse REI Club meetings. One of our first meetings we had. That was one of the quotes. And I remember because I didn't come up with the quote. Let's clarify that.
okay.
I think I got it from Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week.
Okay.
Okay. So he said, well, something about that. And it got me to thinking, and I thought about it. And if you take failure out of the equation and money out of the equation, you can do, be, and have anything you want. Money is just a tool, and failure is failure. You're gonna fail anyway. I mean, you're just gonna fail at something. You're gonna fail forward, or you're gonna fail backwards. You're gonna fall on this side. You're gonna fall on this side. It doesn't matter. There's gonna failure. You're gonna fail at something. It's okay. Just get up and do it again. You know, the Bible says, what, a good righteous man falls 7 times, right?
Yeah.
It gets back up again. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you're going to fail at something. So just go on and go for it. You ain't going to die. It ain't going to kill you. And so anyway, so I said that. And then I didn't really know Lakeisha had took it to heart. And she said that she was sitting on properties and hadn't rehabbed any of them, and she didn't have any of them. They weren't cash flowing, you know, she didn't have tenants in them, and she said she was just scared she was going to mess up. But when she heard that quote, she said she started rehabbing them one after the other. And then it was another thing. She has her own CNA school, right? Or medical assistant school.
Yeah. Yeah, LPN too.
And an LPN school. And she said what was another thing that was holding her back was getting, being able to get funding or something like that, right? Yeah. And she said going through the licensure process or something to get funding. And so she said she just did it. She was like, just do it. And she did it. And I mean, that's so powerful. If you just take that out of the equation and just go for your dreams, go for whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah. And I think group homes are a great way because you can use someone else's property, and we'll also be teaching you how you can partner with someone so you would come to the table with less money, you know, so that you can, you know, get that freedom, get that time back so that you can spend with your family, and also you helping your community. And, you know, there's different groups that, you know, you determine who you want to work with. You know, do you want to work with people with jobs? You know, that's a market, you know, the working class that has bad credit. You may want to work with that group. You may want to, you have a home care agency. You may want to work with those Medicaid clients so you can bill for those services and put your aide in there like I did. I had one aide come for 2 hours from 8 to 10, give you an hour off, bring another aide to come from 12 to 2, and to everybody in the property got their services. So I'm getting paid from that. Yep. So you can do it however whatever group, if you have a special population that you want to work with, we show you like who do you talk to? How do you get those clients? You know, yep. So that's what we're going to be teaching you, stuff that you know, that comes easy for us. We know what you need to do, that you can learn it just like that and implement it. it's something that you can
And
get started with.
less than 90 days.
Less than 90 days. Yes, you can, look. So that would be, we'll meet up sometime next month. So that would be that'll be October, November, December, New Year's. You will have a business by the first of the year.
That first of the year. Oh yeah, that's so doable.
Yes, New Year's resolution to really do something with your business, something
Mm-hmm.
you know you've been wanting to do. Like, what are you waiting for? Let's do it. So COVID taught me a lot. That was one of the things, I've always, if it's something I want to do it, but to not have any excuses. So I've done so much. I had so much time that I've done so many different things. And so you definitely, when I tell people when COVID is over with, you want to be able to look back and say, hey,
I made a lot of money.
I started my group home. I waited for 2 years, and it took COVID to make me start it. You want to be able to be like, you don't want to waste this time. You want to be able to take action and do something for your business and get it started. And we're here to help you.
Yes, we are. So let's do it. The Group Home Blueprint 2.0 will be in the city near you.
2.0.
Thank you so much, my BBFF, for stopping by. I feel so happy. All right, so tell everybody how they can contact you. I always say leave your social media handles. So on Facebook, they can find you at Tamara Neely.
Tamara Neely, or really, I like for people to use the NursePRAYneur.
The NursePRAYneur.
And then I have the NursePRAYneur business community on Facebook. So it's a private Facebook group. And also, I'm coming out with the app. I'm coming out with the app too. That'll be next month too. I'm gonna have an app, and it's gonna be dealing with contracts. I'm gonna be posting different contracts and showing people how to apply. Because what I've noticed is that people, they have their business government ready, but they're not really. We need to be applying once a month, twice a month, going into different areas. Yeah, at least we got to be going after you, because you can't win it if you're not applying for it. So I'm coming out with
I applied. Look, I worked on that.
Yes. And so, we're going to be, that's something new that we're going to be doing. We're going to make that accountability. And then I think a lot of people are intimidated. They don't know what to do or how to do it. And so I'm going to start doing that like once a month.
Awesome. So look out for the app. So we're going to be looking out for the app. They can be on the lookout for your second book. Go by the first book. And also, so go to the NursePRAYneur on Facebook, and you'll be able to get the links and everything for her books and the app when it comes out. And then I guess I'm gonna go ahead and speak it and manifest it. We're gonna go on tour with the Group Home Blueprint 2.0. So might as well just go ahead and speak it into existence. Anything else? Uh-oh, T, you froze up. All right, y'all, we had some technical difficulties, but we're back. So anyway, you can contact Tamara again on Facebook at the NursePRAYneur, PRAYneur, PRAY, NursePRAYneur, or let's see.
The NursePRAYneur Business Academy.
Business Academy, that's it. Business Academy.
Yeah.
And I was saying, I know what I was saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and manifest it and say we're gonna go on tour. We're gonna take this thing on the road. So
yes.
So we'll be.
I'm good.
Yeah, be on the lookout. So it's the Group Home Blueprint 2.0. Be on the lookout. We're gonna have the links to be able to find out where we're gonna be, because we're gonna We're going to get together after this podcast and come up with a calendar. We're going to put ourselves down on the calendar to go out to different cities. So we'll have all that good information for you. You can follow us on all social medias. We will have social media accounts as well for the Group Home Blueprint 2.0. All right. So thank you again, T, for coming out, stopping by, taking time to grace us with your presence.
I enjoyed it. This was so fun. I enjoyed myself. So we're gonna have a good time if y'all can. You're getting 2 for the price of 1, right?
I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
Oh wow. Anyway, yeah.
Success.
That's big. That's big. That's major. So, all right. So this is episode number 4. We've made it to 4 episodes. Yay! So this is the real estate investing for nurses happy hour. Thanks, guys. See you next time.